Karbala was one of the greatest revolutions in history, a revolution whose impact eventually contributed to the downfall of some of the world's most powerful empires, including those of Persia and Syria. But how did the tragedy of Karbala begin? And how did the martyrdom of Imam Hussain become the spark that ignited this historic revolution? The story begins when Muawiyah broke the treaty he had made with Imam Hussain and appointed his own son, Yazid, as the next caliph. Before his death, Muawiyah warned Yazid, "Be extremely cautious of Hussein. If he rises against you, you will not survive." Yazid fully understood that securing Imam Hussein's pledge of allegiance, bay'ah, was essential for strengthening his rule. Therefore, he demanded that Imam Hussain swear allegiance to him. But how could the beloved grandson of Prophet Muhammad bow before such an unjust ruler? Imam Hussain declared with complete clarity, "A person like me can never pledge allegiance to a person like Yazid." After refusing Yazid's demand, Imam Hussain left Madinah and traveled to Makkah. When the people of Kufa in Iraq heard that Imam Hussain had openly rejected Yazid's authority, a new hope arose among them. Kufa had once been the capital during the caliphate of Imam Ali and many devoted followers of Ahlul Bayt lived there. The leaders and ordinary people of Kufa began sending letters to Imam Hussain. Not just a few but thousands of letters reached Makkah. In these letters they wrote, "We have no true leader. Please come to Kufa. We will stand with you and fight for the cause of truth under your leadership." After receiving these letters, Imam Hussain called his trusted, courageous, and wise cousin Hazrat Muslim ibn Aqeel. He instructed him, "I am sending you to Kufa. Assess the situation carefully. If you find that the leaders and the people remain loyal to what they have written in their letters, then inform me immediately so that I may leave Mecca and come to Kufa." As soon as the people of Kufa learned that the representative of Imam Hussain had arrived, the entire city welcomed him warmly. According to various historical narrations, within only a few days, more than 18,000 people pledged allegiance to Imam Hussain through the hands of Hazrat Muslim ibn Aqeel. Hazrat Muslim then sent a letter to Imam Hussain, saying, "The people of Kufa are fully prepared. Please come without delay." However, they were completely unaware that Yazid, sitting in Damascus, had already decided to crush this uprising. He chose one of the most ruthless and cunning men of his time for the task. A single royal decree was issued from Damascus, and the fate of Kufa changed forever. Yazid appointed Ubaydullah ibn Ziyad, the cruel governor of Basra, as the new governor of Kufa. Ibn Ziyad was an exceptionally cunning, manipulative, and merciless man who knew exactly how to control people through fear and greed. He entered Kufa so secretly that almost no one realized he had arrived. He covered his face with a black veil so that people would mistake him for Imam Hussain. The people of Kufa, eagerly waiting for Imam Hussain, rushed toward him joyfully, shouting slogans of welcome. But when the caravan reached the governor's palace, he removed his veil. The crowd was left stunned. It was not the grandson of the messenger of Allah. It was Ubaydullah ibn Ziyad, the man whose very name had become synonymous with terror and death. Ibn Ziyad immediately began executing his ruthless plan. He secretly summoned the tribal chiefs of Kufa to the governor's palace and offered them only two choices. On one side were wealth, estates, and high positions. On the other side was a brutal death at the hands of Yazid's army. He warned them, "A massive army has already departed from Damascus. Anyone who supports Muslim ibn Aqeel will see his entire family wiped out." Terrified by this threat and tempted by worldly rewards, many tribal leaders abandoned their faith and loyalty. They agreed to leave the representative of Imam Hussain completely alone. These chiefs returned to their tribes and began frightening their people, warning them not to support Hazrat Muslim ibn Aqeel. Soon, Hazrat Muslim found himself completely surrounded by enemies. He was severely wounded. His lips had been cut, and several of his teeth had been broken. In this helpless condition, he was captured and brought before Ubaydullah ibn Ziyad. Ibn Ziyad crossed every limit of cruelty. He ordered that Hazrat Muslim ibn Aqeel be taken to the highest rooftop of the governor's palace. Despite his severe injuries, Hazrat Muslim was taken to the rooftop from where the entire city of Kufa could be seen. He turned toward Makkah, where Imam Hussein's blessed caravan was still on its journey, and cried out with immense pain, "Peace be upon you, O son of the messenger of Allah. Accept my final salutations." Moments later, the executioner's sword struck. On the 9th of Dhul-Hijjah, 60 the first great sacrifice of the tragedy of Karbala was completed. Hazrat Muslim ibn Aqeel was martyred. His blessed head was severed and his body was thrown down from the rooftop of the palace. Meanwhile, Imam Hussain, together with his family, had already begun his journey from Makkah toward Kufa. Yazid then sent her Ibn Yazid with a force of 1,000 soldiers to intercept Imam Hussain before he could reach Kufa. Her and his army blocked the caravan of Imam Hussain and prevented it from moving forward, forcing it to stop in the scorching desert near the banks of the Euphrates River. When the caravan came to a halt, Imam Hussain asked his companions, "What is the name of this place?" They replied, "This is Karbala." The moment Imam Hussain heard the name, tears filled his eyes. He said, "This is the place where our blood will be spilled." He then instructed his companions, "Pitch our tents here. We shall go no further." This was the very same place where years earlier Imam Ali, while returning from the Battle of Siffin, had stopped and said, "O Hussein, remain patient on the day when your father will not be there to help you. Be patient upon the land of Karbala, for there you will face death all alone." On the 2nd of Muharram, the loyal companions of Imam Hussain set up their tents in Karbala. At the same time, Yazid dispatched Umar ibn Sa'd with an additional force of 4,000 soldiers to reinforce his army. As the days passed, Umar ibn Sa'd continued requesting more troops from Yazid until his army grew into a massive force of thousands. On the other side, Imam Hussain had only 72 loyal companions. One may wonder why Umar ibn Sa'd kept demanding such a huge army when he faced only 72 people, including women and innocent children. The greatest reason was that among those 72 stood one extraordinary warrior, Hazrat Abbas. Hazrat Abbas, the son of Imam Ali, and the beloved brother of Imam Hussain, was renowned for his unmatched courage and strength. Whenever he entered the battlefield, people felt as though Imam Ali himself had returned to fight. It is narrated that Imam Ali had prayed during the night prayer, Tahajjud, "O Allah, bless me with a son who will stand beside my son Hussein on the day of his loneliness. Grant me a child who will remain loyal to Hussein, who will sacrifice his life for him in Karbala, and who will never bow before death." Allah accepted that prayer by granting him Hazrat Abbas. For this reason, Umar ibn Sa'd kept asking for reinforcements, knowing that Hazrat Abbas stood before him like an unshakable mountain. Imam Hussain wrote a letter to the people of Kufa, informing them of the suffering and oppression they were facing. However, that letter never reached the treacherous people of Kufa. Meanwhile, Imam Hussain and his family endured unbearable thirst. On the 7th of Muharram, Umar ibn Sa'd stationed 500 soldiers along the banks of the Euphrates River to ensure that not even a single drop of water could reach the family of the Prophet, Ahlul Bayt. The desert heat was unbearable. The blazing sun burned overhead. Innocent children cried in agony as their lips became dry and cracked from thirst. Even the women began collapsing from extreme dehydration. The companions of Imam Hussain grew physically weaker with every passing hour, yet their faith and determination remained stronger than ever. Imam Hussein's son, Imam Zain al-Abidin, was already suffering from severe illness. Little baby Sakina, repeatedly came to her father, asking with innocent eyes, "Father, where is the water?" Imam Hussain sent a message to the enemy. "If your enmity is only with me, then at least allow these innocent women and children to drink. What crime have they committed?" But the enemy gave a heartless reply. "Ubaydullah ibn Ziyad has strictly ordered us not to give them even a single drop of water." The following day, on the 8th of Muharram, Imam Hussain made one final attempt to negotiate with Umar ibn Sa'd. However, the enemy had only one demand: pledge allegiance to Yazid. But Imam Hussain refused to compromise regardless of the consequences. The thirst became so severe that hearts pounded rapidly, blood thickened from dehydration, and the body struggled to function. Mental strength began to fade under the unbearable conditions. The suffering was even greater for the innocent children, whose cries echoed throughout the camp. Yet despite the overwhelming pain, the companions of Imam Hussain remained firm in their faith and unwavering in their resolve, prepared to sacrifice everything for truth and justice.